So we're going to find out more about your character and what's going on with these little sinewy things coming out of your arm.
Irisa,
Oh, God.
you will. You'll find out a lot more as the season progresses. I don't think it's kind of maybe how people expect. I think it's going to go in a slightly different direction. And I don't think people are going to... well, already not many people are liking Irisa at the moment. Let's just say that she's quite hardcore. She's not an easy girl to live with. Yeah.
What's interesting is that she's kind of, the way the story, the character arc is going, she's kind of torn between the two worlds more than she's ever been.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's it like to play that aspect of her?
I feel very schizophrenic on set, if I'm honest. She never failed to kind of shock me. How, she could always take something to another level, and she was pretty hardcore. I mean, I didn't get to interact with many of the other characters this season. I'm used to at least being with Nolan, and even their relationship was kind of broken apart, and she seemed quite isolated. And even the people that she does meet, she's kind of throwing tendrils down their throat, and we've got to figure out what's going on. So, yeah, she's on a tricky path at the moment, trickier than ever, and I don't think even she really knows what's going on.
What about the physicality of the role? I mean, you're throwing knives and you're diving across things and you're fighting.
It's a dream. It's like what you've dreamed of doing since you're a kid, and since I watched Goonies, I'm like, yes, I get to do it. But I love it, and I love that you can. She can be badass, and she really can. She might be this kind of small, scrappy creature, but she knows how to throw a knife, and she will tear someone's eyes out if she has to. And I love that. And I can't deny I'm absolutely loving it.
That one scene at the first episode of the new season, the way her appearance.
Oh yeah.
That's a great way to come into.
Oh yeah, with the flag on her back.
Absolutely.
And she doesn't make half an entrance, that girl. Yeah.
If you could pick anyone to work with, who would you work with?
Oh, that's a hard one. Someone's name that just sprang to mind, which is really random, but Steve Buscemi. I don't know why that came to mind, but he's always been someone I've always loved watching and found him really interesting, and that's immediately come to my mind. So yeah, there we go.
Do you play the Defiance game at all?
I do, less at the moment because I was so bad at it. But Grant used to get us in his trailer and play it, and some exciting stuff actually happens this season with other characters going into the game, and also a competition was one that one of the characters comes into this series, and she's a badass Sarathian. I think I'm allowed to say that, but she's great. We don't work well together, as you can tell. So the games. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming up.
What's the most challenging scene so far?
The challenging scene? Without giving too much away, in episode 11, I think we spoke about it at the panel, there's a scene between Grant and I, and when I think of it, I well up. That's how hard it was. It was, it was a pretty epic scene. I remember it just kind of, everything came to a head with those two characters, and playing it exhausted us for days, and it was hard because we hadn't seen each other for a long time either, and so there was all this stuff building up with these characters, and then they threw us together and we were in this tent, and stuff happens, and sparks fly, and it was hard because it was also kind of heartbreaking for us to play that, as father-daughter, and he treats me like his daughter, and he's my father figure on set, so it was kind of really hard. I was like, please don't, Irisa, don't, but Irisa does, so yeah. Yeah.
That continues to be like one of the relationships. There's several in the show,
Definitely,
but that's like at the core of what Defiance is, because that's how it started, and and where that's going to go. It's like that's part of what keeps me coming back.
Oh, cool, thank you. No, I feel, they're definitely a vital piece of Defiance. I think it's a very interesting relationship, a father-daughter one, not often used like that, and yeah, it's been great, and we've really got to play around with that, and through the seasons we've got to kind of play the loving relationship but also the difficult side. And I think that it's always been nice, especially at these conventions, people coming up and talking about their relationships with their fathers, and it's been really interesting for me because I didn't think about that side really, people kind of relating to it. And yeah, it's been really nice to play. It's been a gem actually. Yeah.
What has been your favorite scene to shoot?
If I go back to season 1, I do talk about the Johnny Cash scene quite a lot, and it was a fun scene, and I just love the fact that you've got this alien. I didn't even think about it until I watched it, and it kind of made me smile because I was like, there's this alien girl singing Johnny Cash in a Jeep with this human father, and neither of them know what they're doing, but they will relate to each other through this song. And it was just a really nice moment, and we had so much fun with it. We'd barely known each other 5 minutes when we did it, and so it meant it really holds kind of true to who they are deep down, I think.
Will that relationship continue, or how will it arc? Where will it go?
Their relationship, I'd say, it gets pretty rocky, as we've already seen. I don't expect them to be singing anytime soon. However, I think deep down and beyond all of that kind of stuff that they're going through, I think there's a love there that really, it takes a lot to be broken, but it really does get tried and tested several times this season, and again, things don't turn out so great for them several times. So yeah, it's not how I'd love it to be right now.
Have you ever had a fan come and yell at you for something your character did?
Actually, a few people have kind of, come over and been really unhappy about the way I'm treating people. I think people are really kind of find it shocking how I'm treating Tommy right now, and I agree. I absolutely agree. Like, Irisa, get your stuff together. But yeah, and it's always interesting, and I love the fact that people really care about these characters, and I also love the fact that there are these people rooting for Irisa no matter what she does, and that means a lot to me because she's gonna really try people's patience this season. So yeah.
Have you had any really weird fan experiences?
I've been really lucky. Most people have come up and just been really, really lovely, and so no one's thrown any underwear at me, or I've got no cool stories to tell. Grant, I'm sure, has. But yeah, I think Irisa holds a pretty cool fan base. Yeah.
You don't have to do too much with like prosthetics and stuff. It's just a little bit. But how long does makeup take for?
It still takes 2.5 hours roughly, which isn't too bad. To be honest, Irisa wouldn't be Irisa without that kind of prosthetic. I love the fact that it takes out these big bushy eyebrows, and she morphs into something else. And yeah, I couldn't play her. I mean, they laugh and joke on set because I might try a stunt when I'm in my own clothes, and then it all goes terribly wrong and I'm doing it like a real girl. And then the stunt coordinator, Shelley, literally calms everyone down and says, okay, as soon as she's got that prosthetic on, as soon as she's in the costume, she'll do it. And I do. I feel invincible as Irisa. So yeah, that's who I'll be cosplaying if the world ends. I'm going to just be Irisa because I'll know what to do, clearly.
So do you feel like when the makeup goes on, Stephanie kind of goes away and Irisa just kind of shows up?
Definitely. And I feel like, because it's not something I can take off at lunchtime, I kind of stay as Irisa for the whole day. I think we all do very much. I mean, the lunch queues are extraordinary. We've got every species of alien you could ever imagine queuing for, hamburger and chips. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Can I get a straight on shot?
Cool.
Okay.
It's exactly it, yes.
Thanks.
Cool.
What about romantic relationships? What can we expect? Anything there?
I think without even Irisa kind of knowing it, Tommy has always got a place for her in her heart. No matter how much she treats him badly, he seems to always come and rescue her. And I think we've already seen a bit of that. And so sparks will fly. Sparks will definitely fly.
What's been your favorite part of Comic-Con?
You know what? I love walking around. There was a Grant Morrison panel this morning, and I was so tempted to go, but it kind of clashed with ours, so I was like, But I love walking around, seeing new stuff, and and also just meeting people. Actually, we'll be meeting people tomorrow, and getting to talk about the show again, because it always seems so long in between seasons that we get to do that, and I'm excited by this season. I really am.
Would you ever consider dressing up as your character and walking down here?
No.
You know what? In this heat, no. But it would be cool. But no, I'm already like sweating, so yeah, I think I'd be a sweaty mess. But yeah, it would be cool. Maybe 1 year.
Doesn't she kind of belong in Defiance? And that's really
She does,
taken
you know,
her-
walking down here as Irisa, I think she'd be lost. In fact, I don't know what she'd do. And talking like this, people would really just, I don't think there'd be any fans left. But, so yeah, she belongs over there. Yeah,
So you
somewhere.
put on the costume, you feel invincible. Is that the best part about playing the character?
I think so, you know, just in terms of being able to transform completely, physically, mentally, emotionally, the accent, the languages, like there's nothing really that kind of stands to be very similar to me. I mean, obviously she's a girl that's going through stuff and I can relate to some stuff, but other than that, she's kind of, she's got these things coming out her mouth and she's destructive and she's like a girl I've never played, and I love that. I love her strength though, and I admire that. No matter what she goes through, she has this incredible strength that kind of keeps her going and holds people up, and I think holds Nolan up as much as her at times, because it's not an easy world to live in. And but I think as an actress anyway, you always kind of strive for the roles that really are kind of challenging and gritty and stuff to really get stuck into. So yeah, she's a dream to play.
Can you relate to her in any way?
You know what? I think I've got a bit of a fiery temper underneath that. You know, I sit here smiling like she's so different. You ask my family, they're like, she's not so different. But yeah, you know, I guess so. Yeah. You know, I've got some Greek blood in me. I know how to be a bit fiery. So, and I love that side that I get to bring out on set. So it saves everyone at home having to see it.
What about the alien dialogue? Is that tongue twisting, it seems, at times? How do you get
Oh
around
yeah.
that?
Sometimes I make it up until ADR. David, who created the languages, he's been absolutely incredible. He's always there, no matter what time. He seems to always be there at the end of the phone for us to kind of ask him questions. Suddenly go, how do you say this again? And they send it to us in sound bites, so you get to hear it almost like a song. It's much easier to learn. But I walk around my apartment in Toronto with my French bulldog looking at me going, what the hell are you saying? Just kind of sing-songing the lines until they get in my head. And some lines never go away, and I still don't know what they mean, but they're in there. And yeah, it's funny. But it's again another challenge, which has been good fun.
What has been like the hardest sentence or word that you've learned in a different language?
There's a sentence that I didn't get in my head for a long, long time. I don't know what it means. It was from season 1, but I said it in season 2 randomly because I couldn't remember my line. But it was Halaida Ibea Wimedavungo Agda Haginaza. And it didn't get in my head for so long that I repeated it over and over that now it will never leave me. And so I have to ask David what it means. But yeah, and one of my favourite words is Tashinka because I feel I need a tattoo of that. But yeah, yeah. Cool. Thank you guys.